All right, welcome to Commissioner Show, episode 3. I'm your host, Logan Rose, and we have a couple of fans here today, along with Luke Rose and Miles Pollock of the Coastal Cougars. We're going to start out with awards and awards review. So we had Luke Rose, who's here with us. He won MVP. I won Silver Slugger and Cy Young, which I disagree with. One of them, we can talk about that. And then Miles is a rookie. He can chime in on some things from his perspective. Rookie of the Year race and all of that, playing with some great players throughout the season. So I guess I'll start with you, Ethan. What were your thoughts just on awards in general and who was snubbed, all of that stuff?
I messaged you right after I saw the awards, and I heavily disagree with Silver Slugger. I just didn't think that you deserved it because I know you did really well against the Diamonds, but I just don't think that counts because Dylan Fisher did not pitch any of those games. I did not agree with that one. I also heavily disagreed with most clutch. Carson Rose is, as I told you, the Drew Davis of big league wiffle ball. As Connor's not happy about that. But, yeah, cool. He had a clutch home run, right? But in the playoffs, a lot of walks. He wasn't hitting at all. So, and he got like all of his hitting production the entire season against the Diamonds in Extreme, I'm pretty sure. So I don't know. I just don't think Carson's that clutch at all. That's just my opinion.
Yeah. As for Silver Slugger, I just want to say I voted for Zach Koss. I think him and Porter were the two guys that should have, and Mason, I could say, but those are the guys that obviously didn't get all their production from either the Extreme or the Diamonds or one of those teams. Zach played well against the Cougars and a couple of other teams, and then Porter was just solid against everyone, I feel like.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, so I agree with the whole Zach Koss thing. I think Zach Koss is a very if and when you guys decide to expand, I think Zach Koss should be in that name of people who deserve their own teams. In terms of one I very much disagreed with is I know he had a very good statistical season, but I don't necessarily think he was the best pitcher. I know probably the top 2 pitchers in this league are on there. I voted for Luke. I know obviously we don't see every pitch, but and I know that Logan had like a .88 ERA or something like that, like Daniel Schultz 2019 or something like that. But I just think that Luke was the more complete pitcher, carved through many, many solid lineups. And then for Silver Slugger, I agree, Zach Koss. I do think, though, that Logan hit the absolute crap out of the ball this year. So there was some reasoning behind that. And then Rookie of the Year also, I thought it should have gone to Braden Lewis just because I think that him and Joey were really the only successful 2-pitcher tandem. I know that that's not something that we see in BLW right now, and that's something I hope that's there in the future. I think Braden should have gotten that. I think Porter got it. And while Porter, I think, deserved it, I think Braden should have been more in that conversation. Other than that, I really much agreed with everything. I don't agree with Carson being second, though, for MVP. Like Ethan said, I want to call him the Drew Davis because Drew Davis was a lot more clutch this year, but he was not able to he had like 88 walks or something like that. So I just think that Carson's a walking machine. Nowhere near Cy Young. Hitting wasn't very good either. So the fact that I know he absolutely carried the crap out of his team, but Logan probably should have gotten second in MVP too. So
my opinion on just Carson in general, I think he's the best player in the league when he's on. But like as you saw in even the AL or NLDS when they played the Extreme, he was not on. I think that also there's kind of a negative reflect on him because of the playoffs. And remember, this was before playoffs, the voting. So I think he would have been third if it was after, for sure.
Yeah.
Braden Lewis is a great pitcher. I think his hitting is what lacks, but I do think he's very underrated. And as for the 2 tandem pitching or whatever you said, that should be addressed this year in the draft. We have, I think, nearly everyone can pitch in there. So it'll be very interesting to see especially teams. I'm not so much for teams like the Extreme and Diamonds, or Diamonds will if Dylan Fisher pitches, but I think every team will have 2 pitchers going forward.
And then I also want to bring up, so kind of going into the offseason, explain why don't the Panthers have like the second pick?
We corrected. No, Panthers have it's like the Extreme. So I'm blanking on the format. It's Extreme, Diamonds, Altitude are third.
I was like, because the Panthers had like an
Panthers
extremely high pick when y'all posted the eliminated thing.
Oh, yeah.
That might have been us. I think you commented on that. That might have been Wolves. We were third, and then we moved it back because it just doesn't seem fair. So we did playoff like elimination order, and then record as the tiebreaker.
Record, yeah, makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Miles. So we have like kind of a debate. As Porter said when he won Rookie of the Year, he said that Mason deserved it more. So playing with both of them, who do you think, in your opinion, is a better hitter? And I don't necessarily know if there's a right answer. I just felt like Porter, I mean, his stats were slightly better, but I felt like he was just slightly a more solid player, more consistent. So playing with those two, what were your do you think Porter deserved it?
Well, I did play with both of them, yes. I know Mason was on there a little bit longer than Porter. Porter came in midway through the season. Pretty sure, right?
No, he played the first and second series.
He wasn't there the first series, no.
No,
he wasn't.
Remember, he got the walk-off against you?
Wait,
walk-off against you, Logan.
Porter was there the first series against me.
Yeah.
He missed one series.
He missed the Extreme.
Well,
Yeah,
okay.
that's when
Well, playing with both of them, a lot of the games that Porter was there, sadly I wasn't there. But I do think Porter deserved it more than Mason. Not saying because he's better than him, but just kind of how I feel. He hit better. I felt like Porter just played a little bit better. Yeah, I feel like Mason doesn't get like as many base hits as Porter does. When Mason hits, it's either a strikeout or it's a home run. It's kind of 50-50 with him, I feel like.
Yeah. So transitioning into the offseason, is there anything specific you guys want to talk about, trades or signings or anything like that? I know, I'll say this now, my team was trying to get Ben Brownsy, and he's not looking like he's coming to our team. So he's still a free agent, but it's unlikely he'll play next year. He would have been a good third option for us, but
you see, my biggest thing for the Wolves, and I know that this is going to may cause some controversy. Obviously, the captain's on this team. They need to get rid of Dylan Grossman immediately. Obviously, when Logan and Jake were in the lineup, they did great things. But then Dylan got in the lineup, and it's essentially an automatic out. Obviously, Luke can probably tell. I was actually pretty shocked, and you guys can correct me if I'm wrong. Obviously, I'm a thorough watcher of MLW and stuff. So I was amazed that there wasn't more intentional walks to both Jake and Logan to get to Dylan, who's the more likely out. I guess, like, Luke, you got anything to say to that?
I was pitching awful against Dylan. Like, just awful. I walked him in the first 3 games. I feel like I walked him every at bat. So,
yeah, Dylan was our best player in the first 2 games at least. Like then he went downhill, but he was having great at bats.
So again, I think for the Wolves, they just need to get a third hitter, and obviously if the pitching rule you want to get into effect, then you need a pitcher. The only really team that I think doesn't really need a pitcher is the Altitude. I really feel like they're the only good 2-pitcher system currently. And as Logan said, if all the dudes in the draft can pitch, then we're going to have I feel like even better than what we did this year.
I 100% agree with Connor on everything you just said. But yeah, I think if I'm just thinking about it, obviously the Extreme, they're definitely going to need an ace. And from what it sounds like, there's a lot, good pitchers in the draft. So hopefully they can find an ace there. I actually don't think Sam Novak is that bad of a pitcher. I just think they need to get someone in there. Like, remember, they were 3-3 with Sam Novak and 0-9 without him. Like, that's that's a big difference, even though, one has 6 games, the other has 9. Another one for the Diamonds. I think that they have a lot of potential next year, and Dylan's a pretty good hitter, but I just feel like they need another bat in that lineup and possibly another pitcher as well. Because, I definitely do not trust Hugh Herkmans because, it was fun to see the Cougars you guys absolutely raked off him. Like, the reason, probably Porter got tons of his production off him as well. He had 2 homers off him with that helmet on.
But as soon as Dylan pitches,
yeah, it's 5 miles an hour.
I think the hugest thing for the Diamonds is just, and granted, didn't Dylan have an arm injury or something?
Yeah, he's hesitant to pitch because last year he had it caused some arm problems for him. So we'll see.
So I just think that if Dylan pitches more, I feel like they win a lot more games. And then another team need for me is I think the Altitude need more hitting. I know that they looked really good. They got the 1 seed. They fell just short of the Wolves. But if you look at it, I believe they went 6-0 against the Extreme and the Diamonds, and they went 3-6 versus the other 3 teams. So they got all their wins against teams with horrendous pitchers and not very good offenses. And then when you face a Logan Rose, a Luke Rose, they got manhandled. So I just think that they need more offensive production. I don't think it's a lack of pitching, like we saw in the probably the best series of the year, which was Wolves Altitude. They just got some clutch hits. They walked in some runs. So I don't think that it's a lack of pitching. I think it's more so a lack of hitting to counter screwballs drops and not just lobs thrown in by Hugh Herkmans and stuff like that. So
I agree with that. And you're right about that. I think I told you right when the playoffs started, I said I told you that stat, and I'm like, I don't think the Altitude are going anywhere this postseason. I think the Wolves are probably going to beat them, but I did think that the Cougars would end up beating you guys. Another team, I think. The Cougars. The hitting is probably the best in the league in terms of depth. Obviously you, Porter, Mason, great 3. Possibly just a backup pitcher because I don't really think any of those guys can really pitch. So maybe just a backup pitcher in there that you could just, throw every now and then. If you're kind of off with walks and stuff, you could have another option. And for the Altitude, in that Wolf series, I don't know why they were pitching Jackson Lewis. I think they should have gone with either Braden or Joey. So that really confused me. It was one of them, I remember 2 of them were pitching out of the 3, and then they just wouldn't throw in the other one. I forget which one it was. But yeah, that was a problem for them because you hit you had 2 walk-offs off Jackson, I think.
Yeah. One thing I would say is, 2 things actually. So I've said that 3. I've said this a lot. Dylan Fisher, I think if he plays and if he's healthy next season, then he's pitching, I think he'll win MVP or Cy Young. I got to face him in that ALDS, and I think he's the best pitcher in the league when he's pitching. Luke faced him the series before, and I was like, that's not right. And then his stuff is so filthy. You can't, I was even, I'm not hitting this guy. I just wanted to walk because we were up. I was like, let's just get this game over with. But he's filthy. Second, the draft, you'll see some of those guys in our tournament video. And then I think they're actually going to MLW's tournament. They're already registered. So you'll see them there.
Oh, are you guys taking the MLW All-Star team?
Probably. We're not for sure. But it would be me, Luke, Carson, Joey. Do you know who Premier League is?
That's the one that Jordan Robles went to, right?
Yeah. So they had a team come to our tournament, and we played them in the second game, and they're really competitive. We tied 0-0, and that's when
Are they a yard style or a
they're
fast
really
pitch?
good. I think they're fast. Some of them are fast pitch. Like they have a guy who comes up. It was also in our tournament. He's in MLWs too, and he's gonna win MLWs tournament. Like he goes to nationals every year. He got fourth in nationals this year. Yeah.
So are you guys in your guys' tournaments? Is it just untaped? Like you can't put anything on the bat?
Yeah.
So here's my question: next year, are you guys gonna go with the same, just untaped, or have you guys ever considered? I think is the better question. Going to kind of MLW where it's like taped. Obviously, there's a certain limit to it. You can't just absolutely tape the entire thing, so you can hit bombs and it becomes a moonshot. But like, have you guys ever considered going to taped, or has it always just been untaped straight out of Dick's Sporting Goods or whatever?
I suggested it, but Logan's
He suggested it for our league, which is I disagree for the league because I feel like home runs are easy in there. It's just the pitching's really good. Like it's hard to get.
I think just as a viewer, and I know it's hard because your field looks really nice, and I feel like if there was somehow, some way, there could be a fence, like a distinct fence, it would make both the viewing, the playing, it'd make judging. I think it'd make top 10 plays a lot easier, along with, I think, taking away, like going just full on. I'm not saying like be MLW, but going full on just MLW, no pitcher circle, like everything like that, just going like normal baseball, I think would benefit it a lot, especially for like top 10 plays. Because then it's not just an easy out to just like flip it to the pitcher. You got to make a freaking Jimmy Norton, Manny Machado thing out there at third base. Like,
yeah. And like, if that were to be the case, like, I know you were saying how like Connor, you wanted, obviously more fielding plays in the top 10 instead of home runs.
Yeah.
I completely agree with you. Like, I don't necessarily like the pitcher's hands just for our sake, because otherwise it's hard to get people out until we get a little better. But I think the fence, we've been trying so long we can't remove the oleanders. It would, because then we go in the neighbor's yard or whatever. But
that's in your guys' backyard?
Yeah.
Holy.
So I will say that this year I'm not going to give away. We're doing like crazy field renovations in like next 2 weeks, Lou?
We're trying.
We're going to.
We're gonna, but it depends when. We're trying.
Like the left center gap?
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to add a fence there. Like, I don't know if you've seen, do you know who AWA is?
Yes.
So like their fence, it's gonna like just that kind of color with like the yellow thing,
So is it just gonna be like a giant monster?
Just in the gap so nothing goes back there, like my walk-off home run or whatever it was.
Okay.
That thing, and then I've already built a foul pole, which is gonna look cool.
And then I also think and then a permanent backstop. I think a permanent backstop will be good too. Yeah, that will make viewing a lot better. So it's not looking through. That's also in the works. Yeah, because I also think a permanent backstop it especially make it a lot easier viewing wise. Because like right now it's kind of covered by like the baseball net. So
we're making that in like next week, I think.
And I think that's what BLW is benefiting from. They're pretty damn good whifflers at 13, 14, 15. Imagine when they get to, like MLW, while I love MLW, it's my favorite league, MLW is nowhere near this editing, this skill level at this age level. So imagine if they're still doing this, when they get to 20, 21, 22, they have more resources. They have a bigger league. Like they already have 6 teams in their second year. They could be the biggest league on the West Coast by the time they're 20, 21, 22. So,
all right, I got a question for you guys. Just going into next season, what are you most excited about for the season? Or BLW?
I would say, Luke, you go after me. I think first the draft will be cool.
I think there's 2 different sides to this. Obviously, for Luke, it's more just what is he excited for as a player. But for Logan, it should be more as a commissioner and as a player.
Yeah. Sorry.
So I would say draft's gonna be cool. All the teams are gonna be talent, and then we're gonna have the field is gonna be not necessarily. I mean, it's gonna look better on screen. Like the net's not gonna be as bad, and then there'll be some field renovations you can see on screen. But then also, what should I say? Like the camera angle will be better. I think I think it's just gonna be better in general for people actually there. That's one of the other things we're focusing on. And then I think we've got, I don't know. I think it's going to be more professional just this year. Like, I feel like the logo is a big part of it. I feel like it just made it more professional. I don't know. That might just be me.
And then this is also
Thanks, Miles.
I know this is kind of off topic, but as you said, with adding a little fence part where there's that kind of gap, would that open up a possibility to have an outfield cam?
Yeah, that's what I wrote. I have so many things written down in like this notes, and one of them's like always have 2 batteries on, so we don't have anything like what happened last in the World Series with the other camera. And then also we have, try to get 2 camera angles at all times, that kind of thing. Because I don't know if I expressed this enough. I was so mad. Luke had a great hit, and there were no pictures. No, that was so annoying.
And then I also just want to say this. Obviously, we only see the last pitch of every series and of every at-bat. But Logan's a good pitcher, but he's very one-dimensional on camera. Granted, the drop could just be like a payoff pitch that we just see every third strike. Luke could probably attest to this more. Luke, does he just throw that drop ball over and over again, or does he have another
fair? No, that's not fair. No, wait. Let me speak, and then he can speak. In the World Series, like in Game 5, in the last 2 innings, I think I threw 1 curveball, which was on a third strike that threw them off, and that was it. And the rest were that pitch. But because that was the only thing working for me, I couldn't afford any air. But I don't think, like, at least in the 2 altitude series, I think I was mixing it up pretty well.
And then do you just go, this is just me, the pitching side of me, do you just go holes up and then kind of like come up with it? Or is there any weird?
No, wait, I go like that and the holes are down. Yeah. So that's going to wrap it up for episode 3 of the Commissioner Show. Thanks for watching. And next week we are going to be back with another video.